Joining us now, George Pataki, the former governor of New York. Governor Pataki, it is so good to have you with us today on America's Forum.
Well, thank you, and it's good being on with you.
George, we saw you in attendance at this morning's ceremony. As you went through that and saw the opening and the commemoration, what was going through your mind?
Well, boy, that's not an easy thing to answer because it's such an emotional place and the emotions conflict. First of all, there was a sense of pride because we had done what I had hoped we would do, and that was to create a memorial and a museum where people who were not only were not there on September 11th, but who weren't born would understand the magnitude of the loss, the courage with which New Yorkers and Americans responded, and then we wanted to tell individual stories of everyone who died so that they weren't just names or numbers. So I'm proud of that. On the other hand, you just can't help feeling an overwhelming sense of sorrow as you go into the museum. It's just a sad experience, I'm sure, for everyone, but I think it's an important experience so that people can have a sense of what it was like and what the people who died that day were like.
George, you and I both former office holders. We were in office on 9/11. And from a public policy perspective, I know it's impossible to divorce the emotion of that day, but from a public policy perspective, what lesson as a leader came out of 9/11 for you?
Well, I think the two lessons that I took away is first that in America, we cherish our freedoms and sometimes take them too much for granted. And we don't realize that there are people who not only don't want others to have those freedoms, they don't want us to have those freedoms either. And they have attacked us before, and if they had the opportunity, they would do it again. So we have to be proactive and aggressive in protecting us from this type of horrible attack that we've experienced now twice at Ground Zero in New York City. The second lesson, I think, is that we know who the real heroes in America are. They're not somebody who can put a merger together or dunk a basketball. They're the people who go about their lives and put their lives on the line for us to protect us, our firefighters, our police officers, our EMTs, our emergency responders. These are the people that too often we don't give enough appreciation to. And I know that for many of us, that changed after September 11th, and I hope that continues.
Governor Pataki, we heard the president this morning open up talking about the man and the red bandana, the man who risked his own life to save so many others. We also heard that man's mother talk, and what she said is that she hopes that her son's story will inspire others to help. Do you think that will be the case with this museum?
I do think that will be the case. I think if people hear that story, and I hope they do it, they hear it not just this morning, but over and over again, they'll understand that the young man in the red bandana was just an ordinary young American trying to live his life and build his future, and yet when unspeakable horror struck, he put aside his own life and saved many, many others. And I would hope that would serve as inspiration to another generation of Americans to have that same willingness to give up their lives when necessary to protect others. And that's certainly the case with the men and women in our military who do that every single day, and we can never thank them enough.
Former New York Governor George Pataki, we thank you for your time today, as there you were in attendance at the opening ceremonies of this new 9/11 museum. Your time and your insights are greatly appreciated, sir.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice being on with you.
Governor Pataki talking about the next generation to come and understanding that kids who are in grade school now were not here during 9/11. So this museum is important, and as we prepare for Memorial Day a week from now, it's important to pause now to think about 9/11, what Governor Pataki said, and the lives of those Americans, those who perished trying to save others. Some more memories of today right now.